I know it must feel like a super daunting task, decluttering your home. You have years, decades of memories and stuff that you have accumulated, and you're thinking you need to move on to another place, and you just don't know where to begin and how to start decluttering your home. So today's video is going to offer you some really easy, simple tips to help you get on that path for decluttering. It's going to talk about the emotions, it's going to talk about the logistics, and it's going to make you feel like this will be a manageable process that you can get through. This video isn't going to be very long, but it's going to be filled with information that you need to know if you're thinking about decluttering your home. Hey, it's me, Katie, and I've sold almost $500 million in real estate, and I have gotten hundreds of sellers ready to sell their homes and declutter their homes. And over the past decade, I really have learned a lot about how to kind of coach people through this process, because it is really super emotional. It can be very difficult. It can be logistically difficult, and it can be emotionally very, very hard. So I want to talk about that today, and I promise after this video is done, you are going to feel like you are on your path to decluttering your home. So now, while I'm talking to a lot of people in this video about when they move, the information that I'm going to share with you today is really for people who might move at any time, and maybe it could be 10 years from now, or maybe you're going through a transition in life. So this isn't really just for people who are moving, it's really for everybody. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to really think about a plan and a schedule. I want you to understand, well, how far out do you need to work backwards? Like, you may be really focused and really motivated, and you may be deciding that you're moving very, very quickly, so you are on a tight timeline. But if you're thinking maybe this is a 2 or 3 year project, where maybe you're not moving for a couple of years, I want you to plan it out, because if you wait until right before you move, it can be incredibly emotionally daunting. It can be expensive too, and it really can be just, super draining and super logistically difficult for you to do. So I want you to first think about, how far out are you thinking about doing this? A lot of people who are watching my videos right now, and you may be one of them, is actually not considering a move for 5 to 10 years. And I want you to start thinking about this decluttering issue, all the stuff that you've accumulated over the years, and really start to plan out, okay, how far do we need to plan out, and how much time can I spend working on getting this house clean before we move? Hey, don't forget, I want you to subscribe and like to my channel today. And if you have a comment, put it below. I'd love to hear if these videos are helping you out. Now, the one thing I want to tell you, and this is something sad, is that no one's going to want your stuff. I know. I'm sorry, just no one wants your stuff. And the reason nobody wants your stuff is because it's yours, and it's not cute anymore, and it might be dated. And so I know this is especially hard for people who are, generally 60s and above, because the people who are in their 60s and above went through the whole process of sorting through their parents' homes when they either, moved or died. And so those families, and I know families that fought, families were ruined because they were fighting over an armoire in the house. And the reality is, the younger generation, pretty much anyone who's, I'd say, maybe like 50 and younger, doesn't want stuff anymore. They literally just are trying to keep it neutral and keep it clean, because I think a lot of people feel like the more stuff you have, kind of the more cluttered your mind is. That's kind of how I view it. And so when things are nice and neat, it makes the mind nice and neat as well. And so, if you have children and you're maybe over 60 and you think, oh, my kids are going to want all my stuff, they're not. They definitely are not going to want it. And I think that's sad. I know it's sad, but they really just don't need any more stuff. There's a lot of disposable items out there that people go and buy very cheap, and then they throw it away. I talk a lot about that with my staging videos, is that, people just buy cheap furniture. They don't necessarily want quality anymore, because they like it to be trendy. They like it to look cute. And so in a couple years, they can go out and buy something else that looks cute and trendy. So the furniture that you've had for years, nobody's really going to want it, like probably your family. They may want it. There may be a few pieces, but you can't count on your kids wanting your stuff. I'm so sorry. The next thing you really need to think about is, who does want your stuff? Many times my sellers think they've got just a pot of gold because of all this amazing furniture that they have, that they spent a lot of money on, and it really was expensive. But the reality of getting rid of furniture is that people aren't really going to pay you much for furniture. They may pay you $100 or $200, but the work and the effort it goes into it to try and get that money can be very, very difficult to get out. And so if you think your furniture is worth something, if you really have a lot of high-end furniture, very, very high end, you have antiques, paintings that are valuable, you definitely need an estate sale person. However, most of us don't have that type of stuff. We have things that maybe somebody would pay $50 for or $100 for, and you're thinking, how am I going to get rid of that stuff? And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But keep in mind, most likely your stuff is probably not worth much money either, truly. And again, I'm sorry, I hate to even say that because I know people feel bad about that, but it is true in what I've seen. I have a great resource for you and I don't want you to miss it. It is my seller's playbook. If you click the link below, you're going to get the insight on what updates you absolutely should make before you go to sell. Even if you're not selling for years, this is going to be your game plan and your real playbook on what it takes for you to get your house updated and to get the most amount of money from it when you go to sell. Make sure you download it. Okay, so I want to talk to you about if you're moving. If you're moving, this is what I say to people, is that I want you to kind of sort out what you're going to be moving with you and what you're going to be giving away and what you're going to be selling and what you're going to be putting in the garbage. So there are kind of 4 steps there that I want you to really think about. And when you're moving, I want you to have the mindset of, we're moving, so we need to move this in a box. So that way you can actually start packing your house up pretty early. Because I get a lot of people who say, oh, I should take down all these pictures. I know that. I should move all my stuff out of the way. Well, the reality is, yes, you need to take down pictures, but why not just take them down and pack them up or take them down and give them away? So as you're sort of trying to think about this, I do want you to think about packing it up to move, but because it'll actually be best if your home is looking kind of thinned out. You don't want a lot of stuff in your home when you're trying to sell it. So I want you to get those 4 probably bins. You're going to get the keep bin, you're going to get the sell bin, you're going to get the donate bin, and you're going to get the trash bin. So make sure you put all your stuff in those bins and start early. You can do this ongoing. It doesn't have to be right before you move. In fact, that's going to be much more difficult. Now, I will tell you, when you think I'm going to start selling this stuff on Facebook or eBay or whatever, that's like a part-time job, truly. And a lot of people do not want people in their homes to come and pick up their stuff. And then they come there, they're like, I don't want it, trying to negotiate with you on the price. Really, what I want you to think about is that nobody wants your stuff, and it's easier on the mind and stress if you just give it away. There's a couple ways to give it away. When we moved, I did a lot of Facebook Marketplace. And Facebook Marketplace, if you put something on there for like $10, people won't come. If you put it for free, you're going to get like 100 people. So literally, if you're like thinking, I need this out of here today, Facebook Marketplace, take a picture, put it on, put it outside your house and say, pretty much the first one here, it's gone. I'm out of here. Take it away. So I want you to think about that. Also, I found that Craigslist is not as good as Facebook Marketplace. I don't know. It just doesn't feel as safe just because on Facebook, people are generally connected to a profile. So that feels a little safer to me. If you're trying to sell something, you can try on Facebook Marketplace, especially if you have some time. You can put it on Facebook Marketplace for, months at a time and kind of see if you will just start reducing your price. So go ahead and try it, but it is going to take a lot of work. Okay, I want to make sure that you do not miss any of the content that I'm putting out. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. This is actually a personal favor to me, that if you are finding this content to be valuable, go ahead, like and subscribe today. Of course, you can always donate your items too. You can take them to Goodwill. The past couple of years, Goodwill has not taken much furniture. So you do have to check in with them and see if they're willing to take the furniture. Now, I do have a couple of resources that actually you pay and they will come and get your stuff and put it in a warehouse. And then people who don't have homes who are transitioning into a new home are going to come and they're going to pick out stuff for their new homes. That is actually a tax deduction as well. So there are some places like that. If you're in the Chicagoland area, it's called Honest Junk, and they will come out, but you do have to pay them to come out. Now, there is another group that I find to be amazing that I've worked with for a couple of years now, and this is called Caring Transitions. Caring Transitions is a company across the country, and they actually come to your house, they will do an estate sale, and they will get rid of all of your stuff. Now, you do pay them a fee, and they will give you 80% back if they're able to sell any of your stuff. So it's kind of a great way. You can leave everything in the drawers. You can leave stuff in the house. They will get rid of everything. So that's one option that I really recommend. I do have a link below. If you do want to talk to somebody from there, just let me know and I'll make the connection for you. Now, the last thing is trash. I moved and I threw a lot of stuff away, like a ton of stuff away. And one of the ways you do it is you can go to like Home Depot or Lowe's and you can get one of those bagsters, which you put out basically in your driveway or wherever. And then you just go and put stuff in it and then they'll come and they'll pick it up and they'll take it away. You're probably going to have to throw away a lot of stuff that's valuable. And I really hated doing that for myself. But if it was true garbage, then you can do that. The other things you can do is you can go on like to a TaskRabbit or something like that. And you can say, hey, can you come pick up this garbage? And then people will come and they'll recycle it. If you do it for free somewhere, if you do it for free on Facebook, people will get you use out of that. I actually gave away a pool table when we moved, and I knew it was going to be more difficult to have somebody pay me for it and remove it. So what I did is I said, I'm giving this pool table away for free, and I had about 700 people reach out to me, and then I was able to choose who I wanted it to go to, and it actually went to a young boys club where they were using it in their facility for young men, so I actually got to pick that. That is the benefit also of giving it away. And if you haven't heard, I just released a new course called Ready, Set, Sell Masterclass. This class is super easy and super simple, and it has broken down every single thing you need to do in order to sell your home. From the thousands of deals that I have worked on, I have broken this into 5 singular steps. 5 steps are the only things that you need to know to make yourself a better educated seller. I promise you that this can make you an additional $10,000 to $50,000 more just by understanding the choices that you have before you go to sell. So go ahead and click the link below, and I will see you in the class. Now, if you're thinking I'm actually going to pack up some of my stuff and leave it in the house, that's totally fine to do. Even if you are moving, you want to pack it up and you can put it in the corner in storage. Totally fine. If your garage has neat boxes or bins in it for showings, it's totally fine. You do not have to get a storage facility. Now, some people will get a storage facility, but I will tell you, people know you're moving. So if you have that extra space in the basement in a corner that's not going to be shot for photos, I highly recommend that you just stack it very nice and neat. People are coming into your house and they know you're going to be moving, so they're going to accept it. It will be totally fine. And I know that this is probably going to be really emotional for you and really hard for you. And I suggest that you give yourself enough time and really think about, have you used it? Have you used it in the last year, the last 2 years? And then really in the end, think about who could use it more than you. And that's why I really do like giving away stuff on Facebook Marketplace, because you really are able to see the people who do need it. And then you can choose and say, you know what, this is going to be much better served with this person than me holding on to it or forcing my children to take it. Now, I promise, after you get rid of all your stuff, I promise, you're going to be saying, why didn't we do this sooner?